Damn. I'm sorry. Hey, it's hard being like a coach, ain't it?
Yeah. We see that from history and current day.
Oh, all right, hold on. Let's start this, man. Let's start this. I'm in the joking mood right now. Okay, Jesus Christ. a lot going on with the Lakers right now, and a lot going on in winning time. We are back for episode 6. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Appreciate all the love you've been showing us. Again, subscribe to the show wherever you're watching on YouTube or on our podcast streaming services. Follow us on IG and TikTok at section.300 and on Twitter at Section of the Sports. It's your boy G alongside Alec for another great discussion here. And yeah, episode 6 just went down. We just finished watching it. Definitely enjoyed it. What did you think of the latest episode we just got waiting time, Alec?
Yeah. Another great one in the books. Yeah, continuously enjoying each iteration of this series, and it just got greenlit for a second season as well. So I'm excited about that.
We'll get to that later on, definitely. But love what I'm getting from them, and excited for all that's to come there. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Did you want to jump right into?
Yeah, let's jump straight into it. So
right.
carrying on from episode 5, we saw how it ended with Jack McKinney getting in that horrible bike accident, which would, and me being us being the young guys at first, I thought it was fake. I thought they may have stretched a little bit too far, but going doing research, we realized that was a real thing, and they carried it on this episode and went into the aftermath of that. I'm seeing how the team found out and how Jerry Buss found out and all the chaos that went on around that. Jack McKinney ended up being removed, was I guess in a coma for weeks at a time.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like a couple weeks.
And yeah, was just severely was clearly just severely injured from the bike accident. And Paul Westhead had to step in and become the new coach for the interim time. So yeah, it was amazing to see how that all played out. And then as I joked to start, we see it now as they just announced that Frank Vogel is being removed as the head coach of the Lakers today. We also see back then, just now and then, it's always been tough being a coach for the Lakers. And Paul Westhead, also being a guy that was just months removed from being a high school teacher or whatever, college professor, wherever that was, going from that to now being the head coach of the Showtime Lakers. Definitely it was a difficult task. But he continued to carry out McKinney's Showtime ideology and things for that team, and did the best that he could to keep them rolling. And yeah, it was just amazing to see how it all played out. What do you think of Paul Westhead and his takeover, I guess we'll call it, in the episode?
Yeah, I thought it started off with him kind of like foreshadowing, like talking about like coming into his own and how he was always more comfortable like being the man behind the guy and like building up the guy, but like kind of foreshadowing that like he himself can like step up and be the guy as well too. And he finally has his opportunity, and it's like a really scary one, being the head coach of this franchise that's seeking to change the league, seeking to change the way the game is played, and seeking to be dominant in doing so. It was cool to see him take more of a center stage there, and literally took center stage at the podium, and didn't go quite as smoothly as the Lakers organization would have liked. Probably Jerry West tried to give him a pep talk there.
And, in the midst of all that was going on with McKinney, the team was scrambling to figure out how to manage it all. Jerry Buss didn't want the whole world to be immediately thrown into the situation. He wanted to handle it in-house at first. He had a great quote, which I believe he looked at him. He looked at Paul Westhead in the midst of it all and was like, "Hey, just win." He was like, "I don't care what else goes on, but hey, let's find a way to keep this team rolling as they are." So at least that side, from a fan perspective, is still all right. So I love that as kind of wild as that scene was. I love that from him. And then seeing how Paul reacted and then immediately going to the podium and shaking. I just mentioned Frank Vogel. They fired him. It seems like he's on the court. I don't know what's going on in the press conference right now. If there even is a press conference, they announced it after the game, but I can imagine at least, so I'm not seeing it, that press conference might be a little similar to how we saw Paul Westhead handling that press conference back then after that situation as well. Just how he was so nervous on the podium and couldn't find the right words, and to the point about being a professor months ago, he resorted back to Shakespearean quotes and all kinds of stuff.
I think Jerry West told him like go to your comfort zone or whatever.
Yeah, he got a little too comfortable. a little too comfortable, I think.
Yeah.
But got through it as awkward as it was, and went on to control the team. Interesting in that, while we stick on him, just in that he started off, as we just mentioned, real shaky and nervous, and as uncomfortable and awkward as possibly can be. But once it was time for him to actually take over, he found in the locker room. Well, at first as well, he also had that Shakespearean quote he mentioned again. After that, he then kind of, I wouldn't say snapped, but he started to kind of find his footing and took control of the team to help them go on and continue to stay afloat as they would. And we saw how he made the declaration that Michael Cooper would be starting in the face of Spencer Haywood. Was like, hey, I'm making this basketball move and doing what I need to do to for the betterment of the squad. And I like that he is finding his own with this team. We mentioned in the trailers leading up to this episode, it seemed like, and not in the trailers and the episodes prior to, it just always seemed like Paul was going to be stepped over by the squad, and it seemed like Jerry West was going to be very down on him the whole way through, and he still might be. I mean, we only just seen the beginning of Paul Westhead taking over, but to see that he wasn't as completely scared as they alluded to previously, I'm glad that he did have at least some guts in the face of this squad, and I'm looking forward to what's next with him in the show there. So yeah, definitely enjoyed his involvement.
Yeah, he was thrown into the fire and had to immediately adjust like on the fly to, like you said, like I'm the scout and whatever else his duties were, so he wasn't accustomed to that, but kind of called on his previous experience with working with McKinney in previous years and was able to adjust on the fly, do just that. And we know how it ends. So he was able to do a pretty good job of adjusting for sure.
Yeah, he made the right moves and all of that. And like I said, I enjoy how he managed the team. But now going to the team and the star of the show, Magic and his involvement, love all that came with him in this episode. Him and maneuvering and trying to figure out the deals and all that was going on. Really stepping into the limelight as the superstar that he was becoming or already was in many people's eyes. And seeing how he was fielding offers from many folks and looking at Converse and looking at Adidas and all these other squads, and Phil Knight and Nike were trying to approach him, and they didn't have all the money at the time to properly give him the things that he wanted. So they offered him stock in Nike early on. They were like, hey, here, tell you can have wherever that was, 1% or wherever that was. I forgot exactly what he said.
It was like $1 for every shoe sold or something. Yeah.
Right. And they had a great product for him. They had the shoe that he wanted, name on the shoe and all of that, which he seemed to like. But because the numbers weren't right, he didn't fully embrace it. And seeing how he passed on that deal, going to Converse, and then they had Phil Knight look at him like, oh yeah, he regrets that still. And that definitely was a funny moment. What do you think of Magic maneuvering for his shoe deal and Nike and all that played out in those scenes?
Yeah, I thought it was a cool moment when like his agent, who's not his agent, asked him like kind of what he wanted out of endorsement deals, and he was like, I want everything. Like it showed. I mean, you see Magic how he is now today. Like he's got a hand in everything, like business wise. Like owns the Dodgers. He's got plenty of other businesses. He partially worked with the Lakers, so we know how that ended too. But he's got a hand in everything for sure. So that was a cool moment. But just with the Phil Knight thing, I had noted too that like Nike has always been like ahead of the curve, at least like from a marketing standpoint. Like he had the shoe with Magic on it and everything. Like they may not have had like all the money at that point, like as you said, but like he had the vision for sure. And
absolutely,
Nike was killing it like from that point on. So Magic for sure. I think it was like $5.2 billion valuation that he missed out on. So, yeah, he definitely regrets that. But on the same token, like he's making a lot of money. He's still
right. He's still good either way.
Yeah.
But to your point about Phil Knight and the vision that they had, we talk about Magic on the court and his amazing vision. It's crazy that he didn't see what could have been with Nike went elsewhere. And obviously, we understand. We kind of saw it play out. That he wanted that bag and he wanted to have that immediate success and capitalize on the brand he's already establishing. But yeah, if he had any future visions to see what Nike was going to become, that would have been an amazing collaboration. But oh well. But yeah, definitely loved how that played out. And then kind of adding on to that, his agent, who wasn't his agent, also was the father of the girl he was dating at the time.
Were they the people from the church?
I believe so. I think
because that was the girl that Magic was hooking up with, like in the car.
In the car, I thought so. Okay, yeah. So they were from the church. Yeah. So he brought one girl back home from him. It wasn't the girl that he wanted, but he brought one girl with them, and was making that work. But how am I trying to say that? I wouldn't say she let the light get to her head, but she, I guess, overstepped at times, and Magic wasn't too fond of that.
I was confused. Like, was her dad using her to like manipulate Magic, or was she kind of doing this on her own?
I definitely missed something because I was confused in that as well.
Yeah,
maybe somebody in the comments will let us know, and I'm sure we'll go back and rewatch as well. But
for sure.
I missed something there, and what cemented that relationship. But yeah, the dad capitalized on it and was like, "Hey, I know business a little bit, and I'll help you get the dollars you deserve," and that created a partnership as well. So they did that, and it was just wild, I guess I'll say, to see how that
definitely overstepped, as you said.
Yeah, she overstepped a few times, and to the point where she went. Well, there was the one time where where Magic was meeting all the folks was at the Forum Club or wherever that was.
Yes, it was the
and
Forum
she
Club.
popped in and was like, "Yeah, we're excited for we." Excuse me.
You speak French now? I didn't know you speak French.
He said, "Hold on." there was that one that was hilarious. And then also circling back to McKinney and his accident. The whole team went to go check on him, and Magic wasn't there because, to our point earlier as well, he was going and finalizing shoe deals and all of that. So the whole team was at the hospital, and she shows up with this whole big bouquet of flowers and all this stuff, which I don't think Magic, which I guess they said Magic didn't fully know about.
He didn't know about it at all.
Yeah, he got clowned for that. So yeah, she overstepped a few times, and Magic went to her dad like, "Yo, she got to go, fam. I know we business right now, and you helped me out the deal. Appreciate that, bro, but she got to go."
Yeah, a little bit too much. A little bit too. And there was a moment too where I kind of got confused, but there was a moment where her father was talking to Magic and talking to him about being careful, like about his like vices, like, and he's like, "I don't smoke, like I don't drink," and he was like looking at him like,
"Why?
Women, bro."
That's what I'm talking about.
Those aren't the only two vices. Like,
right.
You gotta watch out.
You ain't gotta lie, bro. You do not gotta lie. But yeah, that was definitely a wild dynamic, and seeing, as we mentioned, trying to figure out how this will all eventually circle back to Cookie, seeing how he went back to her and he's gonna bring her back and invite her to a game, and she was hesitant at first, but you can see in her eyes she's going to that game. So yeah, they gonna work that out.
How the story ends.
Yeah, we know the story ends. There ain't no need to beat around the bush here. We see what the truth is, and yeah, she got the girl's dad and invited her to the
family
game.
section tickets.
Yeah, section all that. So yeah, looking forward to how all of that plays. So yeah, definitely was fun with him. Also the last thing with him, to the part about them in the Forum Club talking to everybody before he went over to the folks Jerry Buss was introducing him to. He sat down with Richard Pryor, played by Mike Epps. And he was telling him about how the fame can get to your head, and they'll change who you are, and your name won't be your name anymore, and they'll start calling you by other things, which led to Jerry Buss walking up. "Hey, Magic, come over. Hey, this is Magic Johnson." If they did a few times poking at that. So I'm seeing Mike Epps playing Richard Pryor in that definitely was fun in that scene, and the one later on as well. I really enjoyed that. I think there were rumors a while ago, I thought, of him doing biopic, however you say it, of Richard Pryor. So seeing that first I guess tease of it in this show definitely was cool and unexpected, and I definitely appreciate that. They've had some great cameos and things in here, as we already mentioned before. So yeah, I definitely loved all of that, and we're going to go from there.
I was just saying it caught me off guard for sure. Like when it said it was Richard Pryor, I was like, "That's Mike Epps."
It's hard to see past who he already is, but I at least kind of see what they're trying to do there.
Because like one, he's a comedian as well, so like he kind of knows that game and that vibe as well. And then I thought it fit pretty well. Obviously, there's another like scenario where he doesn't look like Richard Pryor, but
that was another hard thing too. Like his style is so cemented to me that it's hard to see him portraying somebody else. But he did a good job for what it was, and looking forward to what other involvement he may have in the show there. So there was definitely good stuff.
There was another cameo which I could use to transition to another point I wanted to bring up, which was really funny. But there was a Jack Nicholson cameo when they were out like at lunch talking with the Sacramento guys. There was some Sacramento shade that was thrown in there.
I was sick of this, man.
I was cracking alone. I wrote it down. Jerry Buss.
I was trying to find it. What did he say?
He said all they pick up in Sacramento is the clap.
Leave us alone, man. Leave us alone.
I was like, I know Garrett's gonna be shaking his head.
I was so sick.
The Kings are always gonna be poverty.
Gosh, leave my city, leave my people alone. But definitely was fun and all of that. And then your segue with that, you want to talk more about Jerry Buss and his involvement in this episode?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the major thing was Jerry Buss kind of coming to the realization that his mom is kind of off her rocker in a sense, which I thought initially, you could kind of see that in the episode where Jeannie came to get her, but she like real quick was like flipped back to, oh, like your dad only like wants us like when things are up and good kind of thing. So like I couldn't tell if she was actually like off, like she actually forgot, or
I thought she was hiding something. I thought she maybe had something going on in the house and didn't want her to know or whatever.
Exactly. I thought she had like a man back there or something.
Right. That's what I thought too.
So she played it off well, but at one point I was like, is she like a little bit off, like mentally or something? And then you can see like in this episode clearly like she's going through some kind of decline mentally. Yeah. Bills all over the place, like disorganized. She's talking about the smell in the room.
Open up the windows open, stuff
blowing all over the place. So that was like kind of a crazy realization for him. But bigger than that, it affected the business because she didn't put forth the application for, I guess, was it for a loan?
Well, for one, it was she didn't officially file the transfer of ownership from him to the wife,
which is wife signed
right, and then she also and then it was also paying the vendors. I forgot exactly how that went, but she didn't file any paperwork to get that all transferred. I guess she had everything still set up under their old bank or whatever that was.
Right. Yeah, she tried to make payments from an old account.
Right, they weren't actually being paid. So it was all falling apart there. And Jerry had to, I guess, find some magic to get it all to get back on track.
Yeah, and had to negotiate with those same Sacramento guys, which I think I missed who exactly they were. I don't know if you caught that.
I apologize. This episode, I missed a couple things there. There was a Laker game going on too. I was trying to watch it at the time, so I missed a few things there. But I was
Sacramento businessman.
Yeah, right.
But they eventually agreed to a deal for him to like get deferment for whatever payment, like for 6 months.
Correct.
And he's basically like put his dick on the table and was like, "We're gonna win the championship, so like I'll pay you back in June, and you'll be asking like for our business, like you'll be crawling to me, begging for our business." So that was a cool, just like the shrewdness of Jerry Buss, like as a businessman. Obviously, like there's jokes all the time about the Lakers running it as a family business that's like failing, and you can really see that like in this episode. Like they're like struggling for money, like, even though like he is a wealthy man. His liquid assets aren't quite there.
To our fan eye, to our 1600 eyes, they hide it well at times, but there's also times where they're clearly a mess. So we definitely see that there, and we kind of see it today as well. So we'll see how we'll see how they turned around the show, and hopefully they do the same today.
Hopefully,
Also.
G could turn it around.
Yeah,
or
please
pass it on to someone else who can. Because,
absolutely.
It's just rough out there.
That definitely was fun. What else was there anything else in the show that stood out to you? Is there anything else that you want to address real quick? I think that was everything actually.
That was pretty much everything. I think it just kind of it shocked me just how bad a shape McKinney was in. Like I read about it, but just like him being in that coma and like he woke up and was trying to give Westhead like adjustments for the next game. And he was like, bro, Denver was 2 weeks ago. He was really on the brink. I mean, they were talking about like quality of life type stuff. Like he may not be like himself ever again.
I mean, those first moments after that, when they were in the hospital and they went to check on him, they're like, yeah, his brain's still on the table or wherever it was. So it definitely was bad. I'm glad he recovered.
I was like, why is his wife beating on his chest like that?
That's true. I was like, yo, on one end, I get the panic because you don't know if he's out or not, but like,
you are not helping right
breaking his ribs right now, I don't think it's the best idea.
Pounded on the man's chest.
If you want him to breathe, that is not helping. Dear Lord.
Please get the doctor.
Luckily, though, it worked out, and he came back as we mentioned there. So yeah.
And then one last thing, because I don't think we really touched on that, but Pat Riley was like sitting in the chair when Westhead came to kind of retrieve McKinney. A little bit of a foreshadowing there too.
Hey, he's sick of Chick Hearn.
I mean, wouldn't you be? I mean,
but like he was like, yeah, you want to hear my 60 seconds that Chick gave me to talk this game? That boy was mad. He couldn't wait to get out of there.
Chick was a wild boy. That's the main number one thing I've learned from this series.
I think that's top of the list of surprising discoveries from this show. Absolutely.
Yeah, but just Pat Riley sitting in the chair when he came, like a little bit of a foreshadowing, obviously, because Pat Riley is going to eventually take over the Lakers too. And I think at one point Westhead was like, "Do you want to coach or something?" Like not being serious, and he kind of just looked at him.
Yeah. As we saw to the introduction of Pat Riley, I think episode 2 ago, he's spinning for that spot. So Paul, be careful asking him that because he will pick your spot with a quickness if he can. So I definitely saw that to your original point. I saw that and everything that went with it. And we'll see how he continues to maneuver to get that spot. I'm excited. To see what's next there. A lot of good stuff in the show. What do you think of the upcoming stuff that they have? Like we already mentioned before, but just the Celtics and Red Auerbach and that involvement finally coming in back again.
Definitely excited for the Celtics portion of it for sure. I didn't catch the preview for next week yet.
Oh, okay. It was more of the same from the last one, just Red Auerbach and Larry Bird and that kind of stuff, and seeing how that rivalry continues.
Cool. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So, great things. And the last thing I'll say, I know we were going kind of long this time, but you mentioned earlier the season 2 announcement. What do you think? What do you think we're getting from that? Have they said officially what that's going to be?
They haven't said officially. I believe I saw a tweet from someone who like has seen the screeners through episode 8 or so.
Oh, okay.
And like by that time, they had only like just finished like the 1980 season. So like the last 2 episodes, they can't go through like 10 years. So you're probably going to get more of this Showtime era in the next season 2 because it's still winning time. But I think we will get the Lakers, the 2000 Lakers as well with the Shaq and Kobe. But that's a completely different like book too. I forget what it's called. It's like 3 Ring Circus or something like that. So when we get that, it'll probably have a different title and all that too.
They can easily stretch this either way. They can continue this magic stuff because, as we said, with the actors in, they're all doing a fantastic job. To me, this is one of the, if not the best show on TV right now. There's a whole lot of material there. And enjoying all that's to come. I was interested to see how they fast forward because we mentioned early on, I think episode 1, the first scene I thought was magic in the hospital with all the stuff that went
like
down.
When he got diagnosed with HIV.
So I was trying to figure out how it circles back this fast because it's getting to So I have to continue this part of Showtime through another series season. through another season or two. Definitely we enjoyed that, and then have that, then move on to the Lakers, our guys, the Kobe and Shaq Lakers and all that. That definitely would love that there. So yeah, excited for all this coming winning time. I throw this question out there real quick as well. Sure. We kind of I think we asked you on a pod a while ago. I'll ask it again. Are there any other teams you would like to see a show like this made on?
I just popped into my head randomly. I don't know why, but the Miami Heat Big Three, like LeBron, Wade, Bosh one, just in Miami. Fun. Backstory behind a lot of those things. Yes, Jules popping up in there, something like that.
Relax.
No, but I think there'd be some fun, cool stuff, and then you got Pat Riley at the top there too as well. So
Pat Riley, each one, wherever you make, Pat Riley's gonna be there. The late coach and all that, he's there.
That's the Godfather.
The Godfather, obviously.
So,
I like that.
I think that would be a really interesting one.
That's a great pick. Who would I like to see one on? I guess the flip sides. I think a Celtics one would be funny. No, not the Kings. But I think what was that team that beat us? That 08 Celtics squad, whatever that was. Celtics. Yeah, I think that might be too recent, but still.
You want to see Paul Pierce poopy pants?
We gotta get that reenactment of Paul Pierce shooting himself on the court. I'm still not over that. I don't care what lies he says about what we're on actually. Yeah. But I think that'd be a fun one as well. So y'all can let us know in the comments what you guys think will be a fun team. Just have another series on. There are some that threw ideas that a little bit too far, like the Spurs. Like I think I mentioned the Spurs myself in the episode a while ago. Thinking more on it, I don't think I want the Spurs. That'd be kind of boring, honestly. But there's definitely some fun things out there. I'm looking forward to all that's come with winning time. Oh, that's what it was. We have winning time as we discussed. That was the last thing. We also might get losing time. with the Clippers. What do you think of the Clippers announcement? The announcement we might get a series based on the Clippers and that Doc Rivers, Chris Paul.
It's based on like the Donald Sterling stuff,
and the Sterling era. Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting for sure. Maybe it needs let a little bit more time pass too, because I mean, I still remember that like pretty vividly. Like that wasn't that long ago.
Correct.
But I think it would be interesting for sure. I mean, we got a glimpse of Donald Sterling in this series as well.
Right.
So it would just have to be like handled with care.
Yeah.
As long as you got the right people behind it, you can make something entertaining.
Yeah. I will say they're on the short list. I think that would be a good series actually. While on the Lakers side, we see how they went through all their mess and found ways to win at the time. We'll see that play out as we just discussed. Seeing a team that had such high hope and finally thought they were going to turn things around. And then they kept losing and all of a sudden they went with that. I think that'd be interesting to see as well. So that they're on the short list of teams. I think we have a good series also. So we won't talk too much further. Already gone 30 minutes. That was the last thing I wanted to throw out there. But definitely fun things there. Fun things to come on the show. We'll have more discussions coming up shortly. The NBA regular season just wrapped up, so we will finally revisit our all NBA picks that we discussed a few weeks ago. We see that y'all still reacting to that and having your fun with that. We will get to it this week. Definitely going to discuss that. Make our official picks for regular season MVP and all the other awards that went on, and a lot of other fun things going on in the NBA and beyond. So fun things here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's your boy G, along with Alec. Another great episode of 1600. Follow us online on IG and TikTok at Section.300. Follow us on Twitter at Section300 Sports. Subscribe to the show here and across all of our podcast streaming services. Appreciate you guys, man. We'll see you soon. We out of here. Peace, man.
Deuces.